Last time we saw you compete was in the boxing ring. That was a fight that didn't go to plan against Anthony Joshua. How has that affected your confidence when it comes to competing?
To be honest, I always think like things like that will affect me a lot, but that didn't affect me because not only because it's something that I've always knew that it can happen, but this time around, I felt like I fought with my hand tied. You know, uh, even though it's a thing that could have happened, I fought with my hand tied at least a little bit. That even make me like kind of like build a confidence in me in like, okay, if a lot of thing was done in the wrong way,
Mm.
why? Maybe because they really consider me as a threat. And if they do, what does that mean? Maybe because I'm a threat.
That's interesting. So, we've seen you lose before in competition against Stipe Miocic, perhaps in the UFC. Was that a harder defeat for you coming off the back of that one than the Joshua defeat?
Ab- Absolutely.
Oh,
The
well.
Stipe one, that have to, he was hardest, but he was at the same time like one of the best the fight that I need, at least. Not the one that I wanted, but the one that I needed at the moment. Because from that fight, I understand a lot of things, you know. And I could have blamed a lot of crack um, in my training, in my preparation, and everything. Um, so that was by far one of the best fights for me as far as what I need, as far as my growth in the MMA, in the combat sport. Now, comparing to the Joshua fight, yes, I lost. But one thing that I can say is that I did everything that I could have done in that fight, in that preparation. I trained well. I did everything even better than what I did on the Fury fight. Uh, but I I missed out something that I should have, that I didn't know. You know, I just learned from it. I just learned that it's a different industry and things work here differently. You know, so it's just about that. But personally, I look back at it. I'm like, what could I have done in on my end to change the outcome? Like, did I did something wrong? And this time around, the answer was no. But for the Stipe fight, the question was yes. So it's completely different.
Okay, that's interesting because I was thinking that maybe after the Joshua fight, your confidence for boxing might be affected. Maybe you wouldn't aim to fight guys who are right at the top of the sport when you do return to boxing. But it sounds like that's not the case at all.
Joshua,
Mm.
Joshua wasn't the first guy that I thought that was at the top, and I think that was even the reason because the first guy that I thought that was in the top, I think they were expecting it what happened in the Joshua fight to happen, and then I managed to prove that it wasn't going to be that easy.
Mm.
And then the next time, I think there was a little hurt for it to happen. So that's what I do believe, and that's what really makes me believe that I must be having something in boxing, that I can do something in boxing.
So when you do return to boxing, do you have an idea of who you'd like to fight?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe I don't have a name now that I can. I think it depends on the landscape, but why not a name like a Wilder or a rematch with Fury? I don't know. I'm
Deon-
down for everything that
De-
makes sense.
Deontay Wilder would be a mouth-watering fight for the fans. We know there's going to be a big show in Saudi Arabia in February. Could that be the matchup for you to come back in boxing? Is that the right kind of time?
I don't know.
But if you did, Wilder is a name that you would be interested in.
He's a very good name that I've been interested to.
Were you surprised what happened between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois? And what do you think will happen in the rematch?
Um, no, I mean, if you know the sport, you know that everything can happen in the basically in the heavyweight division. So I wasn't surprised. I didn't expect that outcome, but still wasn't surprised. I mean, everybody knows that Dubois can knock. He has a knockout power.
Mm. And how do you think the rematch could go?
I don't know. He could be the same way. Nobody knows. He can go either way.